Live from Los Angeles Comic-Con 2022, it's the Nighttime Show! Our special guest today, star of Back to the Future, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight, Sniper, and The Phantom, not to mention a little movie called Titanic. You're in the zone for the Zane, it's Billy Zane! And now our host, paint him like one of your French girls. He is considered the fart of the ocean. Our host, Stephen Kramer Glickman.
I make my own luck. And so does our guest today, Billy fucking Zane. Woo. So excited to have you here. I can't believe that we got you to come and hang out with us for the weekend. It's like we played some sort of Jedi mind trick on you. I can't thank you enough. You're the coolest.
Please, call me Billy fucking Zane.
Oh,
Billy fucking Zane.
So good to be here, boys.
Yes. Thank you for
really
out.
cool, man.
Honestly.
This was so fun.
I could not say. I mean, how do you deny you?
Oh, wow.
And this
wow.
was sort of a last-minute thing.
Genuinely, I have love for this man.
Oh,
Wow.
Since we met, it's true. He's what a sweetheart and such a talent.
Oh.
Speaking
And now
of
me
love,
and you,
seeing the people,
knuckleheads, I feel that.
it was so fun watching the people come and see you and just light up when they saw that you were here. Like all weekend, it's been like that. How great has that
because
been?
you're a movie star. You're a movie star, man. I mean, people see you, they go, I can't fucking believe I'm seeing Billy Zane in person. Like, it's a very exciting. It's one thing to see, like, oh, this person was on a TV show. I'm a fan of this guy, whatever. You know, I watched this person on Disney Plus. You know, very exciting, wonderful things. But Jesus Christ, the fucking movies that you've been in, massive, gigantic, enormous,
Surely
two VHS tapes stuck together in a cardboard box kind of movies.
Surely you're speaking of Land Speed and Morgan's Ferry.
Yes, of course. No, I love it. First of all, this is how Billy Zane and I know each other. We were both invited by a friend to the TCL Chinese Theater to watch a girl play video games on screen. And when we arrived, if I'm correct about this, we were the only people there. No one else had arrived. It was like the beginning of the pandemic. And we ended up hanging out.
It was a tech demo.
It was a tech demo.
Basically, we were invited. It was a concept, I guess, invitation.
Yes.
It's like, look at the toys we have. What can you do with it?
Yeah.
It wasn't like there's a girl playing video games.
That's I think
Come
how
over
I.
here.
That's what I.
That sounds much creepier.
Sounds entirely creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was like, no, it's in our 4D theater. The seats rock, and we're broadcasting, live streaming from gaming. And I just finished like watching a movie. They're like, come on in here. Come look at what we're doing. And it was indeed a girl playing video games.
Right.
That's fascinating. And I said, but who's that fellow over there? He's funny.
But that 4D theater is actually pretty cool because we saw Scream in 4D, and whenever somebody got stabbed, you felt a stabbing in your back.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching that movie, like it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was.
Which is so
haptic.
wonderful. We ended up going to dinner at Tara Strong's house,
Yeah.
the voiceover actress. We get to her house, and Nev Campbell was there. And we were like, we have the perfect way to start a conversation with Nev
Getting
Campbell.
stabbed.
We got stabbed at your movie. You know, it was great.
Yep.
It was really great.
Speaking of voiceover, you voiced the demon on one of the greatest animated series of all time, Batman the Animated Series.
Batman the Animated
What was
Series.
that like? How did that happen?
I should
Yeah.
mention that here. People would like that.
Yeah.
That was really cool. There was a period I was doing that. Then there was like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, great game.
Ansem and Tricky, little snowboarding game.
Oh, yeah, I played that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny because they had written the role to be just like, you know, like any sports race competition, everyone was pretty much an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, eat my dust. Like all the like you had a list of things to say that were, you know, went into the bin. I was like, you know, his name is Bodhi. Can we just make him like totally chill and
Yeah.
be like, love you, man. Good one. You know, like just
Right.
Yeah, the
completely
one
different.
positive guy there.
Yeah, the one positive guy in the video game universe who was like
Hilarious.
doing one. They're like, that's really twisted. Yes, go. Yeah. And as a result,
We've
of,
never thought of that.
it's kind of like my secret sauce. I like to subvert kind of traditional norms. That being
very
one
cool.
of them.
Yeah.
The other was like in this interesting film called Invincible that Jet Li and Mel Gibson produced,
Oh, yeah.
which worked with all the wire work guys from The Matrix, and it was a Zen kung fu master working with some characters. It was a pretty neat
That
show.
sounds
But we
cool as
dropped.
hell.
We were in Australia, and Jeffrey Levy, the director, and I just started dropping in all this like neuroconsciousness frontiers, sacred geometry, and killing with love. Like we just totally went hippie on this crazy story. People loved it and it resonated. We were left to our own devices. And the third example was turning any TV 3-character arc into a musical. So I was like, and they'd let me. I would, I like, Boston Public, maybe, what if I performed at that student talent show, sang a song, David Kelly, because you like musicals and you like music. He's like, that's a great idea.
Wait, you got him to go along?
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
I recorded.
what?
I recorded in Studio A at Capitol, and they brought me Frank's stool and Frank's mic.
Wow.
And
Oh
I
my
recorded
God.
Nice and Easy Does It, with the full
That is
orchestration.
badass.
And the other was Uncharmed. I was like, demons, more demons.
Yeah.
Can't he be a reformed demon? What if he taught musical theater at like Wikipedia school? And they're like, that's weird. Okay. And I said, and surely he should do a musical number. And they're like, okay, Billy fucking Zane, why not? And
This man has shared the screen
Yes.
with Bowie. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
So it's kind of my secret. Now I've revealed my secrets. I
Have
must
you-
kill you all. But it's
Have you done Broadway or?
Yeah.
What did you do on Broadway?
Chicago.
A little thing called Chicago.
God.
The
of
Schubert
course,
played
yeah.
Billy Flynn and did like
Wow.
did The Sound of Music at the Lyric Opera in Chicago.
Do you know
That
my
was
God.
Edelweiss.
Did you know what Steven did on Broadway?
No.
Shrek the musical. Shrek the musical.
Jesus, that's awesome.
Typecasting.
That was where I got my start.
That's amazing.
I'll tell you what, though. You know what you and I should do? We should do fucking Guys and Dolls together.
Absolutely.
You
That
as
was-
Sky
that was
Masterson and
my-
Guys and Dolls.
Dude, that was my
I could do
senior-
Nathan Detroit. Do the Nathan Lane,
Oh,
Nathan Detroit.
please.
Wait, you
Dude,
played him in high school?
It was my senior class at
you
Francis W.
rush at that. Oh my God. There's no one I'd rather see
Now,
play
speaking of-
Sky Masterson.
Speaking of high school, you've been known as Billy Zane your entire career.
Yes.
Has there ever been a time when you wanted to be William Zane or just Bill Zane?
Well-
Because we would never call him Billy Shatner, who we saw up on stage earlier. Like that would get you stabbed.
Oh, I did call him Bill Shatner when he did the handprint
But not
ceremony.
Billy.
I said his name is I go, ladies and gentlemen, William Shatner, or Bill as I call him because we're best friends. And then he went, who the hell are you?
It's Mr. Shatner to you.
We were not friends. I just
He
said
tried
it
to give
'cause
your face a handprint.
He was fucking pissed. But that's a good question. That is a good question.
My dad was Bill, so I was Billy. My passport is William. And I was Bill for 5 minutes, and then I felt I outgrew it.
Yeah.
Billy was more mature.
Because it's like William, like that's your get in trouble name, like
William,
the flashbacks to your
William
mom yelling
George
at you or something.
Zane Jr. is my like.
You get in here right now.
I don't know what that's.
You are grounded.
You're grounded. William George Zane Jr. No, it never really got to that.
It does feel like you.
Did you ever go by Zany just for the hell of it?
No.
No.
Zane, like there were
Zane,
certainly
I could
good
see.
nicknames, but
You carry a lot of coolness with you. Do you realize that you're very cool? You carry a lot of you're very.
Were you unaware
Look,
that
we've had 200 guests on our show.
Listen, none of us are cool.
None
What's
of us
it
are
like
cool.
being
Yeah.
cool?
Wait
What's
a
it
minute,
like
I
being
had
cool?
11 prom dates. I might be onto something.
We've had over 200 people on the show. I would say you're easily the coolest person that we've had on the show. You have a very cool vibe. Do you ride a motorcycle? Do
You
you,
wear leather jackets.
not any longer. But yes, I do.
Okay.
in the
I gave
morning?
up the bikes with the kids. But yes, they go. Thank you. Coming from one so cool as you.
Oh, please.
A ring ding ding.
My
Do you
action
remember your
figure
first
collection thanks
motorcycle?
you.
Huh?
Do you remember your first motorcycle?
Yeah, they were one and the same. It was my first and last. There were two of them, two BSA Gold Stars, kind of Brit bike
Wow.
racers from this great spot in Long Beach.
Oh, very
Century Motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I love it.
Now,
What are your hobbies? Do you have like fun hobbies?
I'm a painter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've been. That's just this kind of singular expression as an antidote to art by committee. Which is
And I would say he's very good, according to Giancarlo Esposito, who's a huge fan. He was
he's
talking
a
about it.
collector.
talked about you on
what
stage.
what an amazing man. What a lovely guy. He loves collecting my artwork. I have a show that's just closed at Bergamot Station here in L.A. and a great collection of galleries at the Speedy Gallery. Called Action, which is about action painting. It's abstract expressionism mostly, for the most part. And a few pieces are in Art Basel. They just opened yesterday at the Wall Gallery. If you're in Miami, go to the Wall Gallery. I'm part of a group show there.
Now,
Very
we
cool.
will get straight up murdered if we don't ask at Comic-Con about the Phantom.
Yeah.
I would murder you if you did.
Right, of course. Come on.
My favorite movie. What are you talking about?
Can you tell
But he
us-
doesn't kill. That's the thing about the Phantom. He disarms. That's why we like the Phantom.
Yeah.
No superpowers. He's superhumane.
How did that come to be? How did you end up playing that part?
I willed it to happen.
Yeah.
It was like literally forged from my passion, desire, and kind of a strange and acute knowledge of the character that I gleaned over years of working in Australia, where the comic is
Really
is,
huge,
is,
right?
readily available at every newsagent reissues. It's like next to the cigarettes and the newspapers are Phantom comics, and men, women, children of all ages buy these things, and I'm certain it has something to do with the fabric of what we know as the national character of the Australian,
Yeah.
male or female for that matter. It's just something. It's
such a cool pulp
blokey
sort of
goodness.
story, and it has such a great lore that's been kind of borrowed heavily in other comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was one of your favorite aspects of that character?
No issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot
Animal
of psychological
friends, a girlfriend, Jungle Lord. He's like, fucking this rocks. What are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
No issues.
Did they?
And he disarmed. He didn't kill. Always
Yeah.
gave the benefit of the doubt. And
So like
you know,
you, he
moral
was
compass.
naturally cool. You know?
Well, did they come to you and say this is something that we're looking at doing, or did you how were you involved in the process of getting?
I
it made?
remember, like, oh God, let me think. I was doing Sniper in Australia, and there was rumblings of it kind of being started from there, from a production at that point. And it was a little out of my grasp at that time, and my trajectory at the time, or my body mass for that matter. And then it came around again, and by that time, it was likely that I could be in the running, and I went in for a screen test. But I was so knowledgeable about the character just from the time I had spent there that I was living and breathing it. I understood it inherently. So when I went in for it, I just did a screen test, and it was kind of
Fate.
one of those things. You just literally feel like you willed it to happen. Like it was not a question that this was not meant to be. And I made a point of like. It was interesting. Before every shot of every take, every scene, I made this conscious intention of projecting this kind of like, love, basically, light, like
It comes
whatever the guy was
across.
about. Like
Yeah.
literally, it was exhausting. But it was, I just decided to do this thing. And people have come up to me. Maybe they're, I don't know, sensitive or otherwise, and they come to me at these cons and like, I know what you did. I saw you. I said, you got that? He goes, yeah. It's like fucking awesome.
Badass.
It's really
Great.
cool. It's really
It
cool.
really is badass.
It's like I was like, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
let's play with this a little bit. Let's put out the good vibes.
Yeah.
Hell
totally.
yeah.
He's a hero. Let's play a hero.
Yeah.
Was there when you made the leap? I don't want to say you made the. Did you go right into film, or were you doing television for a while before you made the leap into film?
It was baptism by fire. It was crazy. I graduated high school, took a year off for what was to be film school, and then had an agent in Chicago and a great affiliate here, and I had Laurie Rodkin was my manager. I was like, right out of the box, I was pretty much taken care of, and wanted to just focus heavily on being an actor. And my deal with the parents was, look, let me take a year off from let's take a hiatus, but do me a favor, bankroll me just so I don't have to so I can focus and study and
Smart.
not be waiting the tables. Let me just go full bore, cover the nut, get a roommate, and let's just see how we go. And I said, okay, cool. 2 weeks into it, I begged Back to the Future. I was like, thanks, I got it. You know?
And so you start off in one of the few perfect movies.
Basically.
Like there are no flaws in Back to. There's nothing you can do to make Back to
that
the Future
movie
better.
is
It's perfect.
airtight.
Yeah.
Airtight.
So then you
made
do-
it twice to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah, you did Back to the Future and Back to the Future.
No,
2.
well, we reshot everything.
Yeah, because you had Eric
that's
Stoltz and then
right.
you went with Michael J. Fox. Yeah.
Stoltz.
Who was wonderful in it. It was just a
Yeah,
different vibe.
it just didn't fit, and then he wound up doing all kinds of other stuff that was great.
And
so.
I worked with him in Memphis Belle. He's a wonderful actor. I
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah.
his take, and I loved, Michael's system.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But I thought both were interesting. But what a gift at first,
Yeah.
first time out of the box on a set of that magnitude to get to take a second pass to go,
Yeah.
ooh,
And you've got
let's try that again.
Yeah.
It's like, great, really? We got another,
Oh my
we got another
God.
pass?
you have such scenery chewers in that movie too. Crispin Glover, Tom Wilson,
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd.
They're all just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really.
It was
amazing.
a great place to learn and observe. And every day I wasn't filming, I was there
Just
watching.
absorbing. all
Yeah,
that,
it was like imagine having a drive on past to the back lot of Universal for like 6 months.
Oh my
That's
God.
As
crazy.
an 18-year-old kid, every break would be like, I'm going to the Jaws set, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. We'd run around and terrorize tourists.
When I was doing
trams.
the Nickelodeon show for the first, I think 5 episodes, I came every single day
Yeah.
and I wasn't shooting.
Why
for
wouldn't
like 3 of the days, but I would just show up. I just wanted to be on set. Also craft service, but I just wanted to be on a set
Totally
and
on
like see how it was all going, and you'd watch people make mistakes and screw up a line, and then when you did it later, it didn't feel as bad that
You
you were
underst-
making mistakes. Like it's okay. Like we're all humans, and we're just trying to make the best possible version. Sometimes you do an amazing take, and the camera is out of focus. You know what I mean? Like all those little things that happen along the way that help us to be better actors and help to kind of put yourself more at ease on a set and know it better.
That's why you're the professional you are.
Now, you had a roommate, you said. Was your roommate somebody who wanted to be, were they in the business as well? or
No,
somebody who
they
just-
were a friend from school.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so funny. The photographer that was running around for Getty Images here today at Comic-Con was my first roommate when I moved to Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty funny to like watch him be the guy that like they're like, all right, you have to get him on stage to shoot everyone. It's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Now, you
No,
brought
mine was
up-
Jennifer Greenwald. She was
Oh,
one
hell.
of my best friends from
Very
high
cool.
school.
You brought up being on the set of Back to the Future on your days off. Were there other things shooting around that would come visit or that you would go visit or anything like that?
We had a fairly large footprint, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
it was just basically the fantasy of kind of jumping ship on the tour tram. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
dodging the flood in Mexico just in time. Stupid
Yeah, 'cause
stuff.
you shot-
Hiding in the
Yeah.
the psycho house at winter solstice,
Right.
bringing a mag light and shining it in the window to freak people out.
Behind like the
Oh, that
Cylons
must have
in,
been a blast.
And,
in the
you
opening,
know, running around, like literally running around.
behind the Battlestar Galactica Cylons at the opening, like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
What-
The time tunnel of
Yeah.
the Sasquatch.
I probably,
You were right there in
you
that-
probably
that
scared
big
me when I
town
was there as a
square,
child.
too, right?
Oh,
With the
yeah.
clock tower and all that.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of the time machine? When you first saw them drive.
I
that
remember
onto the set?
admiring the DeLorean. I said, "What did they do to this car?" I remember really digging the DeLorean when it came out. I was like, "It's stainless steel. It's
Yeah.
made in Ireland.
They were so
it's
cool.
a thing of beauty. What the hell?
It's got cocaine in the wheels.
What has
It's
he
got
done?
cocaine.
Yeah.
The man, DeLorean.
You know what I loved? This is something I love that you've done, and I just really wanted to ask you about it. Is okay, Zoolander. Okay, Zoolander 2, The Boys on Amazon. I know you've done it a few other times. You have played yourself or a version of yourself in movies, and kind of like taken the piss out of of yourself a little bit, making joke, like kind of being able to like make
Kind of
light
lampoon
or
yourself a little bit, yeah.
kind of parody yourself. How did that feel doing that on those? Like, do you enjoy doing that? Is that part of like is that like a fun thing to get to do? I mean, that's because you have to be at such an iconic stage of your life being in the world that you can parody yourself in a gigantic, massive blockbuster movie or massive giant television show.
It's nothing you can engineer, really, for the most part, I imagine. I think it's just something that happens by natural, I don't know. I feel blessed for it. It came out of absurdity, phrases and memes, came out of like an improv. And listen to your friend Billy Zane. He's just like saying the name. I was like, what? And then it just became so insane. Then it just became this riff that I get more, quoted to me more than anything, just purely random. But that's the only way I think those things can work. And as a result, that's spilled over to like, I don't know, The Simpsons and other crazy shit. Like it's weird.
Really?
It's just this weird, funny thing, and I feel blessed for it. It's like, to be, canonized in such a silly way.
Hell yeah.
Loved
That's
for
the
5 minutes of,
And now you are in
self-parody.
a film that at one time was the highest grossing film of all time. That's now been surpassed by a couple others. But you work with James
Adjusting
Cameron.
for inflation, I'm not sure.
Well,
I don't know about that.
he had another one with some blue characters. That passed out.
Number
But-
of screens adjusting for
I don't know. But
Not sure.
is James Cameron as intense to work for as we've heard? Like he gets this reputation of being a little bit of a taskmaster.
Oh yeah, and we had what's his name? Who was the guy that we had on the show that was in Titanic?
Eric Braeden.
Eric Braeden, who he almost drowned on the set of Titanic.
Let me say he almost drowned in a scene.
a movie about a sinking ship. Got wet.
I know.
Everybody almost.
But he said they jumped in and saved him, and he said there's no problem. Did the scene again.
Right.
So he's happy to do it
I didn't
again.
know that.
But now,
And he's quite a physical specimen. He's quite a
yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
was
he's an athlete.
former athlete. I mean, he played soccer for many years in
Boxer.
Germany. Great guy, boxer. But so when you're working for a guy like James Cameron, like, is he as tough to work for as people tend to think?
Not to me.
Okay.
I think he's hysterical.
Now, did you
He's
make
got
a?
I want to answer your
Wait,
question,
wait.
so give me
Yeah,
5
give
seconds.
the man a second.
You teed it up. I'm not gonna
Jesus, Matt.
Come on, man.
Let the man do what he does.
Bottom line,
Yeah.
the dude, he was first in the water, last out.
Okay.
So props to you. Respect.
Yeah.
You're cold and wet on the sinking ship movie? What'd you
He's
sign
colder
up
and
for?
wetter.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
he's hysterical. He's funny. He's a wit. Yeah, he expects the best out of you, and if you're up for it, great. If you're not, and you coupled with maybe blowing contingency,
Yeah.
you better just keep walking.
Yeah.
It's like there's no time. It's cutthroat, but
Yeah. Yeah, like we had Lance Henriksen on.
Yeah.
What isn't?
It's a military
Yeah.
operation. It's like it literally is. Chain of command.
Yeah.
It's a tough exercise with very little margin for error when you're playing at that scale.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
Lance Henriksen on, who was in Piranha 2, James Cameron's first film, before he did Aliens with him later. And he talked about how, like, back then he could tell there was something different about him that was going to be like, this guy's going to have the big career. Like, you could tell, like, when he was a new director like that.
Here's the gene. He's smart and he's and he's funny. Again, we had great wordplay and exchange, and we love the absurdity of the character and the hubris of the character. And after
Yeah.
every time we said cut, we'd bust up laughing and try other stuff. And he was collaborative. That's the key. It's like you think that he would be a taskmaster and just tell me what to do. Is what most people would assume.
Yeah.
The last thing he wants to do is babysit.
Right.
So it's like, please bring it and bring suggestions. It's like,
Well,
what
and
is
you
it?
delivered so hard in
Oh,
that
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Some of the more
Jesus
mustache
Christ,
twirling lines
amazing.
were
Yeah.
just fantastic.
They really are. Here's a real question for you, though: is how did being in that movie affect your life? Like, what was your life? What were the big changes before and after Titanic coming out? Because that is such a groundbreaking, massive thing. Did it feel that way? Did you feel like the Earth had shifted a little bit?
Certainly. I mean, it was a crazy international calling card. It was, it was, though coupled with the unique dynamic of being, certainly identified, but universally loathed at the same time. It was a very interesting. I think they kind of canceled each other.
Yeah.
No, it was fabulous. It was again a great. It was all about the unique access. Or I always felt most markers of, I guess, milestones of success in a career always appeared to be a means to an end to me rather than the end all. as a result of always pushing it downfield, you're always going to go, what is this afford? What's the best use of this access? What's the best use of this? Rather than just a table at your favorite restaurant or with the cash money or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's like so. I've always enjoyed that leverage point, and then looking for as it would apply to service, because I attribute it's all pretty much success I've had to an eye on what's the best use of this line delivery, moment, edit in this script. What does that really necessary? Anything that seem to have a lower frequency resonance, and it's tough when you're playing bad guys, trust me, but there's a lot of can you massage something out that is extraneous and just simply dark for dark's sake or dumb for dumb's sake? Can we raise the bar in any way we can? I've always kind of, again, back to my earlier comment on subversion, this was just when I had no business doing it as like a day player on a film. It's like, I'd approach it as if,
Can I add some real subtext to this?
How can we just
make a meal out of it?
Or not really. That implies a little scenery chewing, but do we need this? Must we call her a bitch here? Is that really necessary? Or can this character say thank you to the hat check lady? Or can there we go to movies to learn how to be.
Right.
And just because it's not written doesn't mean it wouldn't benefit from a little focus to
deepen
raise the bar.
Yeah.
I think it's good to Karen to have that stewardship over the character that you're playing, and
it's just an interesting way to realize how indelible these things are and how far-reaching. And when you hear what resonates with them, what I love about cons and coming to these is you hear stories about the significance of what might have been a gesture or a movie that was little known or something that you felt. Nothing is arbitrary. Bottom line, nothing is arbitrary. Everything is important. So all you can do is hold the thread of service, try to resonate with, the highest good, because you're communicating to billions of people. And, I feel what shows up is almost like a map to the minefield. I feel blessed I've had the career I've had.
You can feel that from you,
and it's like, and it feels like I can simply meet it with a level of bemusement that just is comforting, just because of those things. And I encourage you all to, try it. Start today.
You carry with you a level of respect for yourself and for other people that you talk to that is very different than a lot of actors and a lot of stars that you meet around this business, which is a really wonderful thing, because the way that you respect other people and the way that you kind of asked for the way you ask for respect for yourself as well, it's really brilliant and healthy. It's like probably the reason why you've lived such a successful and also like a good life in this business is because you respect your time, you respect other people's energy and stuff like that, which is very fucking cool. It's not normal. And it's not what we run into on a regular basis.
Thank you, Stephen Kramer.
You have cultivated a reputation for that, because I told a friend of ours that you were going to be in our booth all weekend. He's just a comic we've known for a long time, and he said, "Oh, I used to run a restaurant. Billy Zane would come in all the time, and he'd feed the homeless around there. Like, he's like the nicest person, and he does good things for people when they're not expecting it. They don't need it from him. They're not asking him for it. He just does good things for people all the time, and that's the reputation that you have. So
the guy that runs LA Comic-Con, the head guy for the entire con, came by the booth earlier, and he was like, "Just want to let you know, Billy Zane is like the hit of the con." He's like,
we have the talk of the convention.
He's like, we have fucking Sean Astin here, and fucking this guy and that one, and the cast of this show and that show. He goes, Billy Zane is the one that every employee of mine has said, "Can you believe Billy Zane is here?" And he's talking to everybody. He's being so nice. He's the sweetest guy in the world. And you went by their office and said hi to everyone. You're the nicest fucking guy on the planet. I'm done. I'm done with you, Billy.
I've got a cavity here. The sweetness is killing me.
Okay, last question.
I don't know what to do. Bring back the comment.
This is the ass-kissing podcast.
Yeah, no. We gotta wrap it up. We gotta wrap this up. I do have one question for you, though.
Sure, for the love of God, get us out of this maudlin.
I know. Okay, last question.
Group hug.
What is something that you have not done in your career that you would like to do? And I know that that's putting a lot of pressure on like, the opportunities, the excitement of being an actor is that you don't know what all the things are that you get to be. But is there some type of film that you haven't gotten to do, or something you're like, oh, fuck, I just want to do this one time?
I think I've dabbled in those genres, but not enough. I honestly, I love comedy more than I think anything.
Yeah.
I bring it to the darkest kind of, most serious drama. I love finding the humor in pretty much anything, and inevitably it's very close to some of the more bent motivations, and if you mine levels of understanding or appreciate the psychology of certain turns and really go deep and try to understand it, you find it's just a breath away from absolute absurdity and tomfoolery. And it's such a true resonant part of the human condition is how close that craziness is to something that's completely laughable.
Yes.
But I'd love to, pull back off the insanity and just play in the realms of, Blake Edwards for a little while. That would be really nice.
Yeah.
Classic kind of comedy.
I'd love to see Billy
Steve
Zane.
Martin. I love Steve Martin. I like,
Maybe Only Murders in the Building.
John Landis is a dear friend, and I got to work with him on a crazy movie that was not his funniest film, but I just think he was so masterful in those offerings, all the really establishing, comedy in the 80s and early 90s. And I want to do I want to do like the Four Amigos. You know what I mean? I want to do like.
Hell yeah!
I want to have some fun in that
Dude,
respect.
that's brilliant. I love it. Well, where can people find you on the social medias?
At Billy Zane on Instagram, blue check. There's a lot of insane people out there pretending to be me, asking people, like, going out, just, boy, if it doesn't have a blue check and a shot of me with a lot of followers, not a lot, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't I have a loyal following. I haven't been mining numbers, and I don't think I play that social media machine.
I don't think you need to.
As others may, but
it'll happen on its own.
But I don't really. I'm very happy with my people.
Well, you're the best.
But look out for those other knuckleheads out there, and BillyZaneArt.com if you'd like to see the artwork. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! We got to do an art show. We have to see an art show here in LA. We're
You
go
got
check
one.
it out.
I wish you came. It was at Bergamot Station. You can. They're going to pull it down, but there'll be another.
Well,
you can see it online.
Go to Giancarlo Esposito's house, and he's got.
Go to Carlos Esposito's.
and then come see our production of Guys and Dolls.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot. All right.
I can't thank you enough. This was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much.
What a fun weekend, and thanks for inviting me to join you. I would have otherwise been in Miami.
You bet your ass. Much happier having you here than
What a
that.
hoot. Thank you. Thank you all.
Stand up in front of a